I've been in a bus that didn't have throttle. That the throttle is a wire.
They are pulling.
Yes, that it pulls.
Yeah. You see all sorts in
I've entered the vehicle and the guy said, clutch is for me, Jay. Meaning that he had no clutch again and he drove how many kilometers on just gear 2. So he couldn't afford to slow down too much and he couldn't afford to speed faster. So what he did was I went to the engine. I don't know how we did that. He apparently fixed the gear on gear 2, jump started the car because he didn't have a battery to kickstart the car properly. And we did that trip just to have pedal to press throttle. The guy saw it as luxury that I can't afford it now. He'd rather keep driving passengers, 14 passengers with wire throttle than fixing that. Now picture it when we saw the cylinder and you said 25 years. That bus has served 5 generations of drivers. One person has used that, so it's another person, so it's another person, so it's another person, so it's another person. Will this not be a ticking time bomb for Nigeria? Good day, everyone, and welcome to another special edition of Talking Watts podcast. And today it's a very special day, and there's one of our guests, our aspiring guests we'll be aspiring to have for a couple of years.
That's right.
And for some gracious reasons, we're able to get hold of him. He will be talking today on Talking Watts. Talking to us today is slightly different because we'll be talking money watts.
Right.
So we'll be talking the commercial watts today because in realities of things, right? I think it's March 2026. And when you check the news around this time of the year, so you understand what's happening around pricing of fuel, the Donald Trump drama with Iran and all those things going on in the Middle East and the Gulf region, right? So today we'll be talking watts with money conversations in it. And there's no other person that could really explain this thing better because when we're talking watts, we're talking energy for logistics, energy for driving machines, energy for production, energy for heating, cooling, and all those things. And one of the major things we use energy for in Nigeria is logistics and transportation, right? And for logistics, everybody knows that our price in Nigeria is hinged on petrol. Once petrol price changes, everything changes. Cost of transportation changes, cost of production changes, price of everything go up, right? And no other transportation or vehicle management guru that we could think of than our honorable TBO. So to you, TBO, just introduce yourself, what you do. Okay, we know him as TBO, so we'll tell you his real name. All right, so introduce yourself. You're welcome to Talking Watts.
Okay, Tokwa Bukola Ojo is my name.
You said that very fast. So some people are trying to, and by the way, it's married with children, so that's all. All right, please, can you just come again, your name, what you do? We need to know your position now. You don't have to be on board our show.
Okay.
All right.
Tokwa Bukola Ojo is my name.
Okay.
I'm the CEO of AutoGig International Resources Limited.
Okay.
I'm a mechanic. So
simple as
mechanic get levels, but that's how he introduced himself as a mechanic, right? So on today's episode, we've been having conversations around energy to drive vehicles. We've talked about electric vehicles, we talked about petrol-powered vehicles, which is the major dominating most of transportation in Nigeria, petrol vehicles. But from research and everything, we know that you're a master in terms of CNG, understanding how CNG works, CNG for mobility, and the drive are also part of the people that are forefront of what the government is doing in terms of deploying CNG vehicles. Now, to put it in context, I will do a little background, right? When CNG came, there were a lot of different conversations around it. The first thing was that some person said that, this is something we have in abundance in Nigeria. And so because it's accessible, we have better pricing control than oil that's subjected to international fluctuating rates. That's the positive side. On the negative side, just a few months after CNG became common, we saw the video of the one that exploded in Benin. In Edo State. Right? And people were like, okay, my sister on the time bomb, why should I consider CNG, right? And government's now doing the drive for it. Like, everybody do CNG. This is an alternative power. We started seeing CNG-powered buses, powered by CNG, government initiatives, and the likes. But there was another concern there was no governor's convoy using CNG. There was no presidential convoy
Adoption from
using
the top.
CNG. Even local government chairman, it's very rare to say that, okay, we saw that the chairman's LX 560 or 570, LX 570 is CNG.
CNG driven.
So why should I be the guinea pig? What is the safety guarantee in using CNG? Am I trying to save money and lose my life? So those are the questions. So can you just shed more light on it? What is CNG? Why CNG? And how can we adopt CNG in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you very much. I think it's a thesis you want me to write. Okay. So CNG simply means compressed natural gas.
Okay.
And it comprises of ethane, butane, propane, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide.
Okay.
But you see, methane takes about 80 to 95% of the component.
Okay.
Yes. So CNG has been used to power automobiles for decades.
Wow.
In
How come
Europe,
it's just becoming
in Europe,
buzz,
you go to countries like Holland, like
Okay.
Belgium, like Italy, they have been using CNG for years.
Mm.
In fact, recently we learned that Malaysia was saying that if people don't come and change their cylinders, that they are going to stop everybody from using CNG, which means that because
Okay, that's which the lifespan.
of the cylinder is between 15 and 25 years.
So somebody has been using it for 15 years
Exactly.
and has enjoyed it and said that I just don't get money to come and change it now. Man, the manager.
Yeah, and the government gave incentive then for a lot of them to come, but people are not showing up. So the day they announced that they are halting CNG, so everybody started carrying the news that how can a country like Malaysia is
giving CNG?
No, they are stopping CNG use. So Nigeria is not just
starting. Okay, I heard that news. Yes, I was about raising that. People said that some other advanced countries are moving away from CNG.
It's because people are not doing what they're supposed to do.
Yes.
Their cylinders are expiring because they track those cylinders. So, and they know that.
They have some way of tracking them to know their states.
Even in Nigeria, if you convert your car in Kano, if your car comes to Lagos, if you stop it, we will know who converted your car.
Wow.
The kit you use, who imported the kit, everything, even the time the kit entered Nigeria.
Wow,
so yes, government has done enormous work around that. So for Nigeria, does it make sense for us to adopt it? Yes. In fact, there's nothing that makes sense more than that.
I have a question.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll be interrupting you because it's burning and see me as the defense of the defenseless.
Okay.
I enter public transport, although I've not entered public transport very recently, but when I was taking public transport back to back, anybody that takes public transport in Nigeria understand this. Yeah. Lagos might be a little saner. I grew up in Ibadan. The kind of buses and vehicles in Ibadan are different from the kind of buses and vehicles you see in Lagos. If you think the Banagon and LT in Lagos are stressed, I've seen a bus. I've been in a bus that didn't have throttle. That the throttle is a wire.
They are pulling.
Yes, that it pulls.
Yeah. You see all sorts in there.
I've entered a vehicle and the guy said, clutch is for me, Jay. Meaning that he had no clutch again and he drove how many kilometers on just gear 2. So he couldn't afford to slow down too much and he couldn't afford to speed faster. So what he did was I went to the engine. I don't know how he did that. He apparently fixed the gear on gear 2. Jump-started the car because he needs some of a battery to kickstart the car properly. And we did that trip. Now, why I brought that story in is that these are Nigerians that this is just the original vehicle. We've not brought cylinder into it. Just to have pedal to press throttle. The guy saw it as luxury that I can't afford it now. He'd rather keep driving passengers, 14 passengers with wire throttle than fixing that. Now, picture it when we've installed, the bus is still fine now. We installed a cylinder. And you said 25 years. That bus has served 5 generations of drivers. One person has used that, so it's another person, so it's another person, so it's another person, so it's another person. Will this not be a ticking time bomb for Nigeria?
So and that's,
you understand what I mean?
yes, I
Where
get it.
people refuse to show up like Malaysia.
I get it very well, and it's so funny that you can still get, even the Ibadan you're talking about, I've seen a 45 years old bus still in use. Well, depending on the way you want to see it, but I felt as the government is considering urban renewal, all those things we're supposed to be putting them into consideration as well. That what age of vehicle should be on our road.
Like creating a program for, because that's also their source of livelihood. Taking that from them is another major disaster.
There is a lot of things going on in that space. I'm fully aware of the Afri-Exim Bank Africa Automotive Policy.
Okay.
How they want to. In fact, we are. In fact, Nigeria is even better. If you go to some East African countries, you will see very, very old buses. You understand? In trucks and all that.
Those ones that work with their side like this.
So I know a lot is going on in that space, and a lot of countries are plugging into the automotive policy, the African automotive policy that is being pushed by Afri-Exim Bank. But that's on the side.
Just to clarify, that automotive policy, can you clarify what it is?
I was about asking that.
Yes. What's that automotive policy? Is it that you get free money after your car is 2 years old?
No. For instance, now, Nigeria also have its own automotive policy.
Okay.
And the automotive policy, what it does is that, okay, where are we facing? How are we approaching our automotive industry? And it usually spans between 5 and 10 years. They say they want to run it. The first one Nigeria had started from 2012. It expires around 2022. We have a fresh one from 2023 now. So, part of the things that you see there is that, okay, this is how we develop our automotive industry. Okay. This production. Is what, production, manufacturing.
New adoptions.
Yes,
like
exactly. So all those things, component manufacturing and all that. So, and because a lot is going on in different locations across Africa, so to leverage on Africa Free Trade Continental Agreement, yes. So, there should be some level of uniformity, especially when it comes to quality control and all that. So, and after is a baby of Afri-Exim Bank. So that's why they are also pushing that automotive, and they have crazy funds on ground for the automotive industry.
So meaning that to develop it, just to clarify further, right? You raise a very valid question that, okay, what does it mean? From what you're saying now, it's almost looking like it's a plan for the wealthy guys that want to start an assembly plant, for the guy that wants to import 50 vehicles. What is the plan for that guy that's been driving that bus for 25 years? He can't afford to change it. Is automotive policy creating a way or a path for him? Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot. It's not even your policy. But
to take away the
anyway,
So what's the plan for that guy? Is it that he would get a loan at a very reduced rate
so that he can afford a new vehicle, bus and all of that?
Or the policy will make sure that the cost of vehicle crashes so much that vehicle now water for Nigeria. You can just go park to yourself. So how would that really impact? Because there are a lot of policies flying around. You see policies high up there. I've imported a couple of EVs, and I think I gave some experience I had. There's a different thing you see in the news and the policy. You go and import by yourself. And you see that those things, you need powers to push through in those policies that are even set in place. There can be policies that says that, if you're above 70 now, government will start giving you a pension of X amount, 50K. I'm just as an example.
But in real life,
for that policy to take effect, it might now become a situation where you have to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody to effect it. What is in the policy for you? Pass into law. So, how would that affect, let me put a name to it, Mr. Ajadi Agbabiaka in Ibadan that has that lighthouse bus. Ibadan uses those lighthouse buses. We know Ibadan's generation. They don't use Balagon there. It's Lagos, I saw signs in box charges. It's Toyota lighthouse or lighthouse or something like that. So, what is that hope for that Baba that, let's say he even installed CNG 10 years ago. Time is ticking. It's almost 5 years to go, or 6 years or 8 years to go on the CNG. What policy would be in place to make sure that Baba is able to migrate? Baba is already getting old too sharp, so he can't really do the number of hours that he used to do before to migrate to get a newer vehicle.
Okay. I do a lot in the space of policy development in my industry. So a lot of thought goes into all these things. You can't have a successful automotive policy without putting ownership into consideration, because the main problem we have as far as automotive industry is concerned in Africa and Nigeria is
financing is very low.
Yes,
ownership.
Ownership. So you get to US today, if you have $2,000, you can get a car. You understand? But yeah,
$2,000. You can get a car, but it depends on who is driving. This is car that will drive, or you would want to drive the car. But you can get it.
So that's one. Secondly, if you look at financing, if you want to finance a car, now probably maybe the cheapest rate you get from the banks is about 30%. Yes. To buy a vehicle. That means by the time if you run it for 3 years, you are probably paying like double the price, So
diminishing for something that is depreciating.
So that's part of what the funds are for, to drive ownership. Understand? And there are several things that in some South African countries, we have companies that are coming up with different solutions, like Volkswagen, that they have introduced. They have this car hailing service, car sharing services. Yes, that is being pushed, and it has been very, very successful, where people carpool and all that, and they have a very unique approach to it. So those are the kind of people that are getting the fundings from Afro-Exim Bank right now to push it. I think we are yet to align in Nigeria, and there is a reason for that. I was at the last Africa Automotive show in Algiers.
Not the one in Nigeria.
Yes, no, the one Africa Automotive show in Algiers, and we had a session, and everybody was talking about EV, the penetration of EVs in Africa, and people that are leading that conversation are the CEOs of Volkswagen, General Motors, and all that. And when it was time for me to speak, I had to tell them that, see, because everybody is looking at African market. When they are looking at African markets, most of them are looking at Nigeria.
Yes,
because we have the population,
one of the biggest.
But the question is that, is it healthy for us to push EV the way other people are pushing EVs in Nigeria when we have CNG? So I said, okay, you can't just make funds available to push EV technology. Already we are playing a catch-up. There's no company.
We still have power infrastructure deficits.
How many automotive company in Africa has a patent on
in
EV?
their name?
In their name.
They're just assembling parts.
So you're just assembling parts. And all these established manufacturers from Europe and all those places, they will push it because they have gone ahead. They have the economic scale. Exactly.
Oh, it's to their own advantage. To their own advantage is CNG.
Yes. So I was saying, then we should be giving funds to our university to come up with researches, solutions that can improve CNG deployment on automobile. We should be patenting things that people now say, okay, if I use a 65 liter cylinder in my Toyota Corolla to power my car, if that can take me, say, on a trip of 180 or 200 kilometers, what can we produce that can increase that range? That range, yes. You understand? Or what can we do to improve on the
emission?
No, on the cylinder, because the cylinders are heavy. Because they are very thick. Something that will hold gas at about 200 to 250 bars.
Yes.
So
can you explain that bar?
Yeah, bar is just it's just the the SI unit for measuring pressure. You understand? When the gas is compressed, for CNG, it's between 200 and 250. So the cylinder
can compare it around them. How they can
let me what kg is the weight?
Let me compare it with
like
LPG.
Car tires.
Oh, okay.
Or LPG in their cylinder.
Yes, car tires. Most of the time, you put like 3 to 4 bars. Inside car tire.
45 is just 3 bars.
That 45 that you are talking about is PSI.
PSI, yeah,
Yes,
okay.
if you convert it to bar, that's about maybe 4.3 or 4.5 bar.
Wow.
Yes. Now imagine you have something
200 bars.
200. You know that period. In fact, if it explodes, it can.
Bomb in here.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine the LPG you are using at home is stored at about 5 to 9 bars.
Okay, wow. So even
This
LPG
is
is even
200.
It's even compressed than regular tire pressure.
Yeah.
Wow.
So back to what I was saying. So I believe that we should be pushing researches that we encourage our academia and their industry partners to come up with solutions that can improve the use of the usage of CNG
and
on our vehicles. Yeah. So I think that's what we should be pushing. So I told them at the event that Africa Exim Bank should make the funds available for that. They should not just be pushing EVs, because what everybody is talking about is that now assemble EV tricycles, we are giving to farmers and all that. All those things are good, but what do we hone ourselves?
Tibio, let me ask this question. How much reserve do we have when it comes to CNG?
See, Nigeria is one of the richest places on the earth
with CNG.
CNG, yes.
Oh, okay.
And the advantage we have is that I got to know that 30 out of 36 states in Nigeria has CNG in commercial quantity.
Wow. On the ground,
yeah.
That means if we pick each state, so
almost any states like this.
Yeah. So you'll be surprised that even some northern states has crazy deposits
of CNG.
Yes. So
in terms of that cycle of picking it out, I mean, in terms of research, you talked about research, extraction, processing, storage, then dispensing.
To petrol refineries and all those things, which was more complicated.
So the good thing is that even CNG, you can actually drill for CNG without picking
any other
crude oil. Yeah.
Oh, so you can now say, okay, I have CNG reserve.
It's LPG that is a product of crude oil refining.
Okay. But CNG is naturally occurring.
Yes.
You can get it natural.
Yes, it's natural gas.
Oh, that's true. So processing fee is really the cost of processing.
You are not even
that much. You're just tapping it and storing it.
Nobody can come and meet us and say, okay, this CNG, we took it to Malta to go and refine.
Oh,
and now bring it back to Nigeria.
Okay, so it's direct.
So yes,
it's direct. So it makes it simple and straightforward.
Exactly.
Tell me, what of the infrastructure involved?
So it's trying to say that it's less complicated.
If, for instance,
than refinery,
just like you said, it's more complicated.
It's less complicated than refinery.
Because, for instance, you are talking about the kind of containers that can hold it, meaning that your truck averagely should be perhaps, you know what I'm saying, in terms of weight, that hold it even from extraction point.
Yes, compared to truck that carries petrol or diesel.
No, they don't carry natural cars with trucks. with trucks like that.
So these pipes, I think they use pipelines.
So what happened is that
all those things
they use pipelines. You are aware of the AKK, the
one along the Expressway.
No, the one they are running from southern Nigeria straight to the north to Algiers, then to
multiple countries.
Yes, because the Europeans are looking for alternative from Russia.
Because of the relationship,
and they have picked Nigeria. Wow. Yes. So
you mean pipe will go from here to
the project has been going on for years.
Wow.
And and it has really reached advanced stages right now. Yeah.
But we are not even getting the juice.
Information is still a major problem.
Exactly.
I told you my fears when we started the conversion of CNG. Why I ran away? Explosion. I'd rather stay alive. Because there's limit to the amount of information that is out there. And I think people like you and government should also do more to enlighten us.
Yes.
Now, I've been waiting for you at this junction.
Okay.
So this is the junction, right? The Nigerian ecosystem is a very unique one. In fact, I think anybody that wants to do a thesis on how Nigerians think and build an economy, if you are still mentally sane by the time you are done with your research, it's a special grace. So let's look at this now. Petrol, we've seen what happens with petrol. It fluctuates with international drama. We said, CNG, this is just our own. In fact, there's no refinery, no scam, no subsidy. Brilliant. What I'm telling you is that there's a high tendency that as demand for CNG starts increasing and more people start seeing the use of CNG, some, we call them cabal, some forces beyond control might start manipulating that pricing. So imagine a young guy, he's been hearing CNG, he was scared when it was free. He didn't do it. Like you said, government did it for free now. We didn't do it. Yes, he didn't do it for free. Then after some time, came to you and said, oh, there's a program, there's a financing. It's 1.5 million to do a conversion. We can get this financing. This gas is just about 300K or 400K. So he took that loan. Just a way to bet against energy in the future. And did it for his honorable Corolla or Camry. And he finished paying. And the month finished paying, bam! A lot of people too have done CNG. Maybe paid for 3 years or 2 years. And one person just came to power and just said, hey, you see that CNG? Oh? It is now this amount per kilogram. Maybe 2x price of petrol. You spent money, you fixed, you change your car to CNG. Now petrol is now cheaper than the CNG. How would the person know? Because pricing is difficult to control in Nigeria.
That's right.
Why I'm giving this scenario is that, I drive electric vehicles, right? I've considered CNG. Maybe after this show now, we'll start considering CNG. Maybe we'll test with our truck or something like that. For EVs, it's price of electricity now. I can edge that one by installing solar solutions, wind turbines, generator. I'm already going back to depending on diesel and petrol fluctuations. But I can immune myself a little from the shock of pricing.
That's right.
But I can't say that for CNG. Because there are more forces beyond my control. That's how we say forces beyond, due to forces beyond my control. This is the new price. Right? Okay. So there are more forces beyond my control. And as a business owner, right?
You want to be,
the more you can
know what
control
you can
these
control,
things,
yes.
The better. So what will you say what's the assurance? How, or you can't give assurance, you're not the video. So what is the how can you put a Nigerian's mind to be at peace that don't worry, go ahead and invest in CNG? It is a better alternative. Yes, we've heard it now, it's cheaper, right? Fortunately, everybody knows that most things that end up to be cheaper in the long run, there's usually some sort of upfront costs. And when EVs came in initially, they were more expensive than regular vehicles. Yes. Maybe right now their price is now balancing out to be almost the same thing, with even sometimes cheaper than regular vehicles. But for this kind of technology now, that cost, which is the cost of getting the kit, governments absorb some. How will you encourage somebody to still go ahead and convert to CNG? How?
I have plenty things to say, but okay, let's start from here.
Okay.
Now, if you are pushing adoption, it's two ways. You want to encourage people to adopt.
Yes.
You also want to drive investors
to invest in infrastructure.
If the price is not right, the investors will not bring their money.
That's right.
At the same time, if it's too expensive,
the buyers do not.
So do you know that the government gave grants to some organizations up to the tune of like 100 billion naira grants, yes, to push the CNG, set up CNG center, mother stations, all that. Yeah, just because they want to encourage. And when we started, I think we were paying about 230 naira per SCM then. Yeah, so, and lo and behold, it has been increased to about 450, 500 now. Yes. Yes, because people want to invest
in it. So the price has to go. But even with this high price, is it still cheaper than petrol?
A lot.
Okay.
A lot. So let me start an example. I converted my Range Rover Sport to CNG.
That's a bold one.
Yeah.
I do have shaken here. That's a bold one.
So
you did test with your Corolla first.
So I spent like 80 to 90,000 naira on fuel.
For when you were using petrol?
Yes. When I changed to
every
CNG,
week?
Yes.
Okay.
When I changed to CNG, it's reduced to 10 to 12,000 naira.
Wow.
Look at that difference.
And somebody will be seeing you driving the Range Rover.
I'm bringing my Tundra tomorrow.
They don't know.
So that's exactly what we're talking about.
Oh my goodness.
Apart from that, the advantage is that you are now running on a cleaner fuel.
Okay.
Yes.
So So if you are running on CNG, you understand? In fact, if you want to look at your contribution to the emission, you understand? You are probably even doing lesser than electric vehicles.
Because of the cost of the emissions for producing the electric vehicles.
Yes. You consider the emission because people don't look at that.
I have another gist for you. I will bring you gist. What is on the street? The word on the street is that CNG, the fire.
Okay.
For anybody that you have driven countless vehicles. One of the things I love about the Tundra is with that engine response. Even when I'm carrying tons of load, I'm an engineer, I'm carrying batteries, I'm carrying heavy inverters, weighing heavy as in several hundreds of kilograms.
Well, as a V8
once engine, I still press the accelerator, the vehicle still feels as light as possible because the engine responds. Will I still have that same experience? If I decide to convert that same truck, like I'm telling you now, you've sold it, I'm bringing my Tundra down. Will I still have that same, I'm ready to go kind of experience if I convert that vehicle to CNG?
Okay, so let me just use this illustration. You know, a lot of people, you tell you that I'm good, I have sound health. Let them go for medical checkup.
That's why you know that.
Yes, that's why we advise people. In fact, it's not just advice. Before we can convert your vehicle to CNG, we will do comprehensive diagnosis on your vehicle.
Okay.
That your engine that you think is healthy, by the time we finish our diagnosis, we still point to one or two things you need to fix. Because if the engine is not performing optimally, if you convert it to gas, it will show. Let's say one of your spark plugs is not good.
Okay.
And as you're driving,
so you use the same spark plug, the one that works for the petrol can work for gas.
Yes, we are not eliminating anything from your petrol engine. We are only adding CNG kits. So that's why it's hybrid.
Okay.
When you exhaust your gas, your car can switch to petrol itself. So
automatically.
Yes. So, and if the engine is working smoothly, you may not even notice
the switch.
Yeah. Now, let's say one of your spark plug is bad and Tundra is a V8 engine.
Yes.
You may not really notice.
Because the others compensate it. It's not like a 4-plug engine that you quickly know.
So, now when you want to convert such vehicle, let's just say you've converted it to CNG. When one spark plug fails, CNG will show immediately. The vehicle will start rough idling. When you switch to gas to petrol will still accommodate it. You understand?
Yes.
But two things. Your engine will run smoother and healthier
when it's running with
CNG.
But it has to be LD first.
Yes.
Before it starts on the engine.
Exactly.
You know what I'm thinking now? I'm very practical.
Yes.
I will continue the line of my Tundra.
Okay.
I've converted my Tundra to CNG. Let's say I never make it to the level where I could just say that, auto gig, I'm bringing my Tundra, just do the checks. But for some reason, I've installed the gas on it. Maybe it was auto gig that even helped me install the CNG conversion. But before the conversion, Kazim, they fixed that bus. Kazim, they fixed that guy. Now, if anything happens, can I still call a Kazim and say, Kazim, I better go, I did Odolewu, I'll be so place now. Will he still be able to fix things in that vehicle? Or I have to just tow it and go to a professional like Auto Gig and say, okay, Auto Gig, I had this challenge on the road, please fix it.
So as long as you don't, whatever he wants to fix on the vehicle is not
touching the CNG line.
CNG.
Oh, so he can still do normal spark plug.
Yes.
He can still do normal servicing.
Yes.
Okay, alignment and wheel balancing, no concern CNG.
It concerns because you have cylinder, you have pipes. Your shock absorber has to be in shape.
Hey,
so if the vibration that goes on your vehicle is too much, it will affect those piping. Then you might likely start noticing leakages. Although in the cost of installation, the way we install, even if you are using it on rough road every day, it will still be good. But it's advisable. In fact, it's like it's part of the assessment we do for you. Since you have to go and fix your shocks, fix your whatever before we install.
Now, for everything you've said, right? I've gotten a message that, okay, it's cheaper, it's cleaner. But it's almost like there are a lot of fine prints, terms and conditions
that applies. Because I think that's part of the reason why even some of those guys in the garage, based on this thing you're saying, will think about it twice. That is it worth me bringing my vehicle for conversion? Because now you know how those people, they load their, even Sienna, they will load the bus. There's one I saw. There's one skit I saw that the guy, when he was leaving the park, I don't know who saw it.
Yes, they have to hold it.
They have to hold it, and the guy was almost falling off. Yeah, so imagine that kind of compression in terms of load and all of those things. From what you have said,
CNG can't move.
Be careful in terms of your chocks, everything, and then somebody's loading and loading a car that is supposed to take maybe 2,000.
Because 80% of those interstate buses are overloaded.
These guys are loading it to like 2.5, 2.7 because they want to maximize the cost. How do you solve that? So, maybe that's part of the reason why adoption is low. Please just do your day. If you want to, for those people doing regular cars, just go and change to. But us who are doing haulage, who are going, we don't know what our road will look like, and they are entering one place.
So that same Tundra. Put it into context now. It's can decide to face Lawrence tomorrow to go and deliver some batteries.
So we don't know what the state of the road is. We don't know what
the road is. But one of the reasons why we are driving the Tundra on that part because whatever comes our way, as we to face it and conquer it.
But you know, the suspension system is also designed to accommodate those kind of things. So, you know, like the example you gave now, it's not every vehicle that we install CNG on. There are some that were rejected outrightly. And we had one that said,
I must do it.
Egbon, it was Sule that has been handling my rewire.
That's handling everything here.
I want to send him to you. Let him do it in your presence. If there's anything he's doing that is not right,
let us know.
When Sule came and we told him that you restore this car back to the way the manufacturer made it. Before we can.
All those ones. Your turbo start that.
No, he said, sir, bros, I can't do this one though. So the owner said, okay, bill me. Let me fix it. So we got
Return
our
the
team.
Car to our what we say that. How they will remove thermostats.
They will jump wire.
That one is for that one's for Oyibo place where there's AC, where there's snow.
Yes.
They will
fan direct.
See that one?
Direct
fan direct.
Yes. That one.
Fan direct.
One causes a major problem for CNG. Because the
optimal temperature will not be reached.
Yes, the engine has to attain the normal running temperature for it to perform optimally.
And
for the CNG
direct fan, and the fan is getting stressed.
So in fact, somebody will tell you that my car is not changing to gas because the way we program it, after some minutes or that we'll have seen that within this number of minutes, the engine is supposed to have attained normal running temperature or a particular running temperature.
So that can be optimal for gas.
Yes, but you put double cell, you have removed thermostat, you have permanent the fan. So the vehicle will never attain that temperature.
That double cell. Yeah. You say, first thing first. No, remove that one. It's double cell. So you go and buy double cell.
Let me ask this question. So we have talked about conversion. That's one side. How about production or manufacturing of proper CNG?
In Nigeria.
I came to store, I bought it, and it's CNG. How about that? What's the level of
CNG? Proper, not conversion.
Yeah, no conversion.
Proper CNG vehicles. I think there was a conversion we're having that government policies now says that almost every
all their MDAs and agencies
must be CNG-powered vehicles, right?
Yes.
So government policy is now stating that a percentage of the vehicles should be either EVs or CNG-powered vehicles. And I've said it earlier, sometimes it's different between the English and policy passed. They passed a policy that no, in quotes, VIP should have police escorts, on the road. In fact, I think it's after that policy that the number of sirens escorting people to airports increased. So that's the path. So what is that sustainable way? Are we planning to start? You talked about the automotive plan and those things. Are we starting to produce CNG vehicles locally?
Yeah.
Are we starting to produce cylinder locally? If produce the cylinder locally, what is the guarantee that it won't be a bidding experience? What is guaranteed that manufacturers will not bypass some things and boycott some things in bid to increase their gain? Maybe the thickness of the sheet should be 200 mm or so. What if they start changing to 180 mm? Nobody notices. Change to 160 mm. Who is testing?
That's right.
Are there agencies that government or private entities that government fund? Okay, go around and go and certify the production of this CNG. So what is the plan?
So if there's any policy that I can say the government have really put things in place to ensure that things are rightly done, I think they tried with this CNG.
CNG, okay.
They have their own shortcomings, but at the same time, you know, CNG kits cannot just enter into this country.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, let's say
I can't travel to. For example, I'm in Texas now. I saw CNG
kits.
I just bought it. I put it in my and say, okay, I'm shipping to Nigeria.
Who will fix it for you?
I'll call AutoGig.
No, AutoGig will not fix it for you because you must give us the sun cap.
No, I don't know that.
Sun cap certificate of the CNG that you brought in. We have to verify it.
They were selling it. I entered store, bought it. I don't know.
So we can't use it. Even
so
if
I can't buy like a scuba diving.
Yes. So even if it is more expensive, more quality than what is in the Nigerian market that has sun cap, we can still do it for you. You see, every vehicle that we convert for has a certificate. That certificate has everything is lodged in the database of NADDC and PCNGI. So that was why I said if you convert your car in Kano, we can know who converted for you, who imported the kit down here. If you don't do that, by the time the cylinders start expiring in 15, 20 years, how will you track it?
Okay.
So
in a bit to wrap up,
let me just quickly say this. A lot of investments are going on and a lot of companies are investing in kit manufacturing. In fact, there's a company that have started manufacturing the cylinders.
Wow.
Yes. So I know this because they actually visited our office to let us know what they're doing
and you will be bold enough to use it.
Why? If it
is certified.
So as long as it is certified by all the appropriate
bodies.
That's
in some cap will certify their kits here.
Yes, a lot of bodies are involved. Okay. You understand? A lot of things is going on in Nigeria that people don't know. You understand? Now, for instance, now federal government is not financing most of the body of knowledge we have in Nigeria, like ICANN, Korean, and Co. So they have to do their job so that they can also earn money. Okay. So a lot of things are going on
in those agencies.
Yes. So, and they are getting more involved in all these things. You see, this country, if we try to introduce sanity into most industry, we will never have unemployment problem and people will be wealthy by just bringing sanity into the system. Even just do it alone in the automotive industry. I'm telling you, you solve all the unemployment problem in Nigeria.
Okay. On a closing note, I'll flip to the side you didn't like. EVs. You are us versus
no.
You said we are polluting. But I want you to live with this question, right? We don't need to treat it here now. CNG, we've talked about 15 years, 25 years, then cylinders. Lithium batteries too actually have cycles.
Exactly.
Some 8,000 cycles, 6,000 cycles, depending on type of battery used in the vehicle. So we are looking like in the next 20 years, tops, there will be a lot of expired or degraded lithium cells around.
Disposal will be an issue.
What is the disposal plan? Lithium is terrible. What's the disposal plan for Nigeria? We don't have to answer that question now. So anybody can answer in the comment question. What's the plan? And we should just go and think about it, right? It's something that we should be open to discuss in another episode. But
let me correct any pressure before you go. You said we CNG against EV. Is this because
you decided to diss EV before you started your CNG defense?
But
that's why I said okay.
Pollution is
us versus you.
But you know that in our facility we fix more EVs than CNG.
That's true.
In fact,
was like, I saw plug-in hybrid vehicles.
In fact, if you look at it, it's like ratio 15:1.
Wow.
Yes. 15 EVs to CNG. Yes.
Wow.
So as far as green energy is concerned,
So you are still there.
We
Oh,
are there.
so we are still pals there. All right. So thanks for your analysis as always. And my co-host that's always showing up. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Right,
TBO, we really appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on the show today. And we hope that next time we will not struggle as much as we struggle to get you on the show. We'll be able to follow up this conversation. Thanks so much. And to the viewers, thank you for listening and watching Talking What. So till we see you next time.